Nwabara. Really, I see myself as somebody who is a genuine human being, who cares for others, very kind, given.
True friend, everyone needs one true friend.
You can give medicine, but the way you give it and the confidence you have in the person and the love you show the person would indicate how well the person is going to do, because the healing is something that you stimulate in the patient by your presence and your kind of personality, and that he has in abundance.
I'm into people's energy. So his energy was just radiating. He was what I call like a gentle giant.
He just exemplified being a caring provider, a provider that listened to his patients, and patients knew that he cared for them.
A lot of us women felt like he was our big brother. In fact, we used to call him Big Brother.
Okay.
And he would let us do that. so in some ways, we felt very covered. I think covered is a good word. Covered by him in medicine, and so that was a good thing, because being in medicine as a woman sometimes can be a little difficult.
Yeah.
But it's nice to know that somebody kind of has your back.
Absolutely.
And we always kind of felt that in his presence.
Absolutely.
I would say his unselfish love. He loved people, regardless of income, title, demographics. He didn't see that. He saw your heart and he saw people.
Anybody who encountered Dr. Nwabara was going to leave an experienced individual, because he instilled in them. He wasn't just like a dictator. He led by example. He would tell us, if you're gonna do it right the first time. I'm not saying that people don't make mistakes, but you learn from your mistakes, and you grow, and you continue to grow, and you continue to excel. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't stop at being a medical assistant. And he just instilled, and he kept instilling.
Yeah.
And I'm forever grateful.
You're right.
I think his biggest impact has been that Dr. Nwabara has always cared about African American people and their health and well-being. And so he's always done whatever it takes in order to make sure that there was quality services available to the people in this community, because although he came from Nigeria, he lived here, especially in this area, Northwest Indiana, worked here, had his offices here. He moved to Illinois, but his offices are right here in the inner city in Gary, Indiana. And he was real concerned about our people having access to care. And so he made it a point to promote that, to advocate for that, to do whatever he could for that, including what I mentioned earlier, when he wanted to make sure that Methodist Hospital's feet were held to the fire when it came to making sure that they made strong investments in the Gary Hospital. When they had moved out to Maryville, he wanted to make sure that the Gary Hospital did not suffer because they were moving their facilities to South Lake, that they did not close this Gary Hospital, and that they invest in it so that the people here could continue to have quality health care. And I think that, to me, is one of the most important things that he did during his lifetime.
The man. And when I say that, there's nobody better than the man.
You make the world look so beautiful, everything around you wonderful.
Our goal is to serve the community and take care of people, and he is naturally that kind of a guy that, of course, he's busy hugging people this way. I'm going over hugging people, and so we are naturally, complement each other very well. You know.
He was a man of integrity and really gave to his community. And what I mean by that, Dr. Nwabara, from my experience, was very well thought of in the healthcare community throughout the Gary area. And just through some of our discussions, he could have went to big teaching institutions within Chicago, but he chose to come to a community that he wanted to serve that might not have gotten the attention that other communities would have gotten.
6 months ago, I just had a kidney transplant, and because of him, he may not be here now, but because of him being such a great doctor and insisting and taking out the time to explain everything to me, where I would be comfortable with having the procedure done, he went on and I had a kidney transplant 6 months ago, and everything, God worked a miracle. Because of no diabetes, because of the blood pressure, everything was under control with the help of the Lord and Dr. Nwabara.
And I did not know that I was allergic. That's the first time I ever had Vicodin. And it knocked me out for 5 days, out of the hospital, 5 days. And Doc, I was getting ready to go home because I felt good, but Doc said, hey, no, let me run some more tests. He ran other tests, found out I had a blood clot in my left lung and also behind my left knee. If I'd have left there without really Doc checking me out like that, I'll be dead. I know I would have. See, that's why I love him so much. And I told him every time we got together, thank you, Doc. See, I know that, hey, he's the man.
And that's the first time Dr. Nwabara saved my life. And I love him for that. And then the next time, I had retired from Inland Steel, and I was working security at St. Catherine's. And Dr. Nwabara was on the staff at St. Catherine. And he come in one day in which I knew from the past how he saved me with that pancreatitis. I went to him and I told him what the symptoms were. And he said first thing they should have done was give me a stress test, my doctor, that I was going to. They didn't. So I called Dr. Artis and Dr. Garapati's office right away myself and made me an appointment. Dr. Artis was in the military, so Dr. Garapati took care of me and gave me the stress test and everything, and then he didn't like what he saw, and so he sent me to St. Catherine's for an angiogram, and they found out I was 50% block. And Dr. Nwabara saved my life then, and I want to thank you all for that, because he was a good man.
He never made me feel like I was in an assembly line, that it was a matter of I've got so much time to provide to you as a patient. He made me feel like I was like his brother, like his real brother.
He introduced himself, and so we got to know each other, and we became friends after that, and I was able to go to him on a personal level. He became my physician shortly thereafter, but I was able to go to him on a personal level to talk about issues that were important to me and my personal well-being. And I remember one time I was going through just some challenging times with my significant other, and we sat down and had just a heart-to-heart talk about it. And he said to me, let me ask you something. Do you want the chronic pain or the acute pain? And it was something I had to think about. It's kind of like, either you want to be in this relationship long term, and if you feel like you're going to suffer this pain forever, chronic pain, then accept that. But if you want to make sure that your well-being is intact, your health is intact, you need to make some decisions, and that might cause you to have to suffer some acute pain for a while.
Sounds like
and I still remember those words. He's just said so many things to me that were so profound.
He supported me. He didn't judge me. He did not judge me, because in Nigerian culture, it's like, ooh, divorce, they judge you, they ostracize you, they do all of this. Dr. Nwabara never did that to me, and I will always be grateful to him for supporting me through my divorce. And even when I started a business after the divorce, many of the Nigerians didn't want to touch me with a long pole. But Dr. Nwabara, I went to him, I said, Doctor, I want you to be the medical director for this my business. And Dr. Nwabara said, Mrs. Diego, you've started a new one. Like he didn't even, like treat me, because I became withdrawn and just I took to myself because people were so judgy of me going through a divorce and whatnot. So on the contrary, he was like, yes, let's hear it. Right there, that same afternoon, that guy agreed to sign his name to be the medical director for this new business that I was starting.
But that took in kids, adults, no matter what age. And by him being a busy person that he took the time out to educate the kids as well as the patients and myself. So that's what I loved more about him.
Again, I definitely recall just him being actively involved in trying to help me find my path, my career path, giving me college choices. I want to jump ahead for, years after that, as I was in nursing, I recall working home health, and Dr. Nwabara called and said, I have a job for you. I said, well, I didn't know I was looking for one. Look, I got a job.
Way, 7 o'clock in the evening, 7:30, and I go back up and the lobbies are still full. What is going on? So I went into the staff and said, well, I thought I saw less people in here. What happened? Oh yeah, we took some more people in. This person, she had this going on, and this person, she had this going on. Now mind you, this was after his back surgery. And so I got up to go into the closet and just talk to him real quick between patients, as the patient was already at the exit window. And he started whistling. And he was whistling the song from, what's the movie with the 7 kids?
Sound of Music.
Sound of Music, from The Sound of Music. And he came out smiling.
Like when he saw his patients, he used to say, he says, I live in Indiana, but I sleep in Illinois. Because he would leave very early in the morning, like you said. He would leave like 5, 6 in the morning, and then he doesn't come back till maybe 8, 9. So he felt he lived in Indiana, right? And he came home to sleep. Right. You know what I mean? But when he would come home, he would be in the car, 15 minutes. Like, Okechi, what were you doing in your car? He's calling this friend whose mother is sick, that friend whose brother came for. I'm like, aren't you tired of talking? Aren't you tired of talking?
You dey push me up and up and up and up. You dey show me things I
So what would you tell him? Let's say, I know he's watching us, so what will you say to him right now?
This is, I hear a lot of other people say, but I can't think of anything else better but the same thing, which is thank you. Thank you. You don't know the impact that you have on people. And he did have a lot of impact on me.
If he was in front of me now, and even the fact that he's not in front of me now, I would tell him thank you, because he's one of the reasons that I have lived to be 73 years old this year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would say thank you. Thank you for being the man that you are, and for believing
miss him so much. I miss the times that we were able to talk about not just work things, because we were always focused on trying to make things better at Edgewater. So not just work things, but the fact that he was a true friend. And if I were having a difficult day at work or a difficult day in my personal life, he was always somebody who I could vent with. I could go to and just vent, and he'd kind of calm me down and get me straightened up and get me back to where I needed to be, just always reminding me that you have to take care of yourself first.
I would say, Doctor, I love you so much. I miss you.
I would say, hey, I'm sorry I didn't get an opportunity to tell you I love you, and thank you for being the person that you've been towards me and my family, and rest in peace, brother.
I did it. I did exactly what you told me to do. You pushed me, and I'm sorry.
Okay, don't you? You're fine. When you think follow suit here.
Did it.
Yeah.
I did it. And I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you and I miss you.
Oh, that I don't believe you are not here. Because he was so full of life that it's difficult to think he cannot be here. You know? Yeah. I still don't believe that he's not here.
We love you, Dr. Nwabara.
Let's go for that moonshine, Doc. He will always joke after work about his moonshine as a joke while we working. So let's go have that moonshine.
You're my heart, my everything. I cannot thank you enough. Everything you've done for me. You pick me up.
One word to describe him. What would your one word be?
One word. Joyful.
I heard somebody
together.
Joyful.
I would say joyful.
That's true. I'm
Joyful.
sorry. I didn't mean to love that somebody else is in the room, but that's what the consensus was. Joyful. Yeah. Yeah. Joy. Describe him though. What would be that one word?
She took my words, joyful. I just miss the big laughter. I would go to the house. He's Michigan. We're gonna fight. We're gonna watch football, and then we're gonna take sides. And if you're not Michigan, it's like it was really a lot of fun to be around him. He was a joyful person.
I would say caring. You know, he really cared. You know, you talk about someone being passionate about a person. Dr. Nwabara was very caring.
Word to describe him, what would be that one word?
Caring.
Caring.
Yes. He cared about his patients, those that wasn't his patients. I think anybody he interacted with, he cared about them.
To describe him.
Intentional.
Intentional.
He was an intentional person in a good light. And like I said, intentional about passing on his knowledge, his know-how, his love, his expression, just making everybody feel like today is a good day.
Powerful. He did not do anything halfway. If he agrees to do something, you can bet he will generate the power and the effort to achieve that goal.
Lifesaver. He is, as a man, I think he's the best individual I've ever met, and I truly miss him.
Brilliant. Yes. I just felt like he knew about so much. He knew about everything.
He's just a great doctor. Trustworthy. And that means a lot when you have a doctor that you put your life in their hands and you feel like you can trust him with anything.
My one word that would work for him is real.
Oh, real. That's
real.
different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's good.
Real.
That's
It's
good.
phenomenally real.
Well, he's one in a million. Like I said, I don't know no other doctor that could come close to Dr. Nwabara. He was down to earth.
That's hard. I already said that he was phenomenal. So I'm just gonna put the
impressive.
And impressive and put the icing on the cake and say father figure.
Okay. Father figure.
Yes. Because all of us were his little angels. We were all his children. Maybe not biological, but we were his children.
That is so true. He often said that. It's my angels.
My angels.
This
yes.
is my angels here.
You are very special. You're so kind and gentle in terms of your service, even though you're like a big teddy bear as you approach a person, as you approach me even. But you will be remembered forever. You're indelibly etched on my heart.
I go